Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? Welcome to Preschool Storytime with Librarian Jeannie. That's me, Librarian Jeannie. Let's sing our hello song one more time. Adults, please sing along. Help your children learn the tune and the words. Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? Well, I'm pretty good. Look, there's a pretty nice day we have today. And I have my little red house. Are you wearing red today? I am. I have red earrings on. And in my little red house, there is a little yellow house. A bright sunny color, isn't it? And in the little yellow house, there is a little green house. Well, now I'm not wearing green, but as you can see, I've got lots of green plants behind me. And in the little greenhouse, there is a little blue house. I have blue on my shirt. You see, I have a plaid shirt on. Plaid is a design, a geometric design with different colors. And in the little blue house, there is a little pink house. Part of the color in my shirt is sort of pink, isn't it? And in the little pink house, there is a little gray house. In the little gray house, there is a little purple house. Don't have any purple on today. Although where the colors cross over, like here, they blend a little bit. The blue and the pink sort of make a little bit of purple. That's called blending colors. In the little purple house, there is a little orange house. And last but not least, in the little orange house, there is a little white house. What do you think is in the little white house? Shall we look? What do you think? I think we should open the door. Look at that. There's a sticker that says, I voted. And I did. I voted for lots of things in the past, the election that just happened. And the reason I put it in there is because the story that we're going to read today is about presidents. All the presidents that we've had in the past. And I hope all of you adults voted too. It's part of your responsibility as a citizen. So, but before we get to the book, let's sing a song about washing our hands, because that's still really important. It's important all the time, but especially now that we have to keep track and be careful of getting diseases, the flu season, and also still COVID-19. Okay? So, tops and bottoms, in between, scrub them all together, squeaky clean, squeaky clean. Let's do that one more time. Tops and bottoms, in between, rub them all together, scrub them all together, squeaky clean, squeaky clean. Great. Don't forget to wash your hands lots of times. Now, our book for today is called The Next President. It was written by Kate Messner and illustrated by Adam Rex, and it's published by Chronicle Books and used with their permission. This book also has a subtitle, which is The Unexpected Beginnings and Unwritten Future of America's Presidents. And for the adults, it meets the Common Core standard for history and social studies, learning about people and the world. So let's see. Oh, look at the frontispiece. Look at that. That's the map of the United States, isn't it? And instead of this book belongs to, that says this country belongs to. So it belongs to whoever owns this book, I think. The next president. By Kate Messner and illustrated by Adam Rex. Quick! Name the President of the United States. Can you do that? No matter when you read this book, there's only one right answer to that question, because America only has one president at a time. But no matter who holds the job right now, the presidents of tomorrow are always out there somewhere. Some already know they'd like to run the country one day. Some are learning how government works as members of Congress or a representative in state and local government. And some don't have a clue that one day they'll be president. Little kids like you. Maybe one of you will be president one day. 1789. When George Washington became the first president of the United States, there were 9 future presidents already alive in America. 4 of them were working alongside in Washington in the nation's new capital. That's those 4, and I'm going to read about them. President number 2, John Adams, was Washington's vice president. President 3, Thomas Jefferson, served as Secretary of State. President 4, James Madison, had grown up on a plantation in Virginia and now represented that state in the nation's new Congress. President 5, James Monroe, had run for Congress, too, but he lost to Madison. But Monroe was elected to the Senate the following year. At the time of Washington's inauguration, 1789, Presidents 6 and 7 were both practicing law. President 6 was John Quincy Adams, was about to open a legal practice in Boston. President 7, Andrew Jackson, was living in a boarding house in Nashville. Jackson was the son of Irish immigrants. So they were already practicing law while Presidents 8, 9, and 12 were all kids. Presidents 10 and 11 hadn't been born yet. President 8 was Martin Van Buren, was 7 years old, helping his father and family on the farm. President 9, William Henry Harrison, was studying medicine. Right there. President 12 was 4 years old. Zachary Taylor was living with his 2 older brothers on a Kentucky farm that his father had been given for serving in the Revolutionary War. So there he is, little Zachary Taylor. These are other presidents. There's Andrew Jackson and Abraham Lincoln. They haven't been president. They aren't mentioned yet, but they were president. 1841. William Henry Harrison became President 9. There were 14 future presidents alive, and most of them were already involved in politics somehow. President 10, it's a crowded stage. President 10, John Tyler, had worked as a lawyer, congressman, and senator before he was elected Harrison's vice president. President 23, little Benjamin Harrison, who was 7 years old, wasn't actually there for the inauguration, but probably wished he'd seen that moment. He must have been proud when his grandpa, William Henry Harrison, took the oath of office. Imagine that. His grandpa was president, and then many years later, he became president. President 11, James K. Polk, had a setback that year. He'd been governor of Tennessee, but he didn't get reelected. He didn't give up, though. Zachary Taylor, President 12, was grown up and serving in the military now. Presidents 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 were all serving in the government then. President 13, Millard Fillmore, had grown up a quiet bookworm in central New York. He was in Congress. President 14, Franklin Pierce, had been serving as a senator but left Washington in 1841 to go home to New Hampshire at his wife's request. President 13, James Buchanan, was in the Senate in 1841. 16 years later, he would become the only president who never got married. President 16, do you recognize him? Abraham Lincoln was serving in the Illinois legislature then. He'd done lots of other jobs before that. As a young man, Lincoln built things, sold groceries, did farm chores, and rowed a ferry boat. And President 17, Andrew Johnson, was elected to the state senate in Tennessee. He moved there with a cart and a pony way back in 1825. That's about 15 years before, after he ran away from a tailor to whom he'd been apprenticed. So it sounds like presidents have had a lot of varied jobs before they got into politics and became president. Presidents 18 and 19 were both in college in 1841. President Ulysses S. Grant was attending the United States Military Academy at West Point, preparing for his time in the armed forces. President 19, Rutherford B. Hayes, was studying at Kenyon College, preparing for a career in law. He had a reputation as a pretty good cook, even though cooking in student rooms was against the rules. President 20, James Garfield, was working on an Ohio farm with his brothers and his mom. President 21, Chester A. Arthur, was in school, but he moved around a lot with his father, who was a preacher. Presidents 22 and later President 24, Grover Cleveland, also had a dad who was a preacher. For President 23, see page 14. Remember back there on page 14? That was Benjamin Harrison, whose grandfather was President 9. 1897, when President 23, William McKinley, moved into the White House with his vice president, Garrett Hobart, there were 9 future presidents alive. President 26 was Theodore Roosevelt. President 27, William Howard Taft. President 28, Woodrow Wilson. He was teaching at Princeton University. President 29, Warren G. Harding was running the Marion Star, an Ohio newspaper. President 30, Calvin Coolidge, was working as a lawyer in Northampton, Massachusetts. President 31, Herbert Hoover, had studied engineering in college, and he was managing a gold mining operation in Australia. He wasn't even living in the United States then. Still in 1897, Presidents 32, 33, and 34 were kids. President 32, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, loved to sail. President 33, Harry Truman, he was turning 13 that year. He played the piano and loved to read. And President 34, 7-year-old Dwight David Eisenhower, was helping out in the family garden with his brothers. (1961). It was President 35, John F. Kennedy, who was the youngest to be elected to the job. He was 43 years old when he took the oath of office, and the next 10 presidents were alive then too, scattered all across the country. President 36 was Lyndon Baines Johnson. President 37 was Richard Nixon. President 38 was Gerald Ford. President 39 was Jimmy Carter. He was running a peanut farm in Georgia and serving on his local school board. That's how he got his start in politics. President 40 was Ronald Reagan, working as a TV host before becoming president. He also was governor of California. President 41 was George H.W. Bush. And in 1961, he was president of an oil exploration company called Zapata Offshore. In 1961, presidents 42, 43, 44, and 45 were all kids. President 42, Bill Clinton, was 15 years old, and he was going to school in Arkansas, where he loved debate and playing the tenor sax. President 43, George W. Bush, 41's son, was 15 in 1961 and attending prep school in Massachusetts. He became a cheerleader. President 44, Barack Obama, was born that year. President 45, Donald Trump, was a teenager then. He was attending New York Military Academy, where his father hoped he would learn some discipline. And where is the next president now? It's exciting to think about it, isn't it? Now, by now, when I don't know now who's going to win the election, because I'm recording it before November 3rd, but you all will know who won this most recent election now. And maybe it'll be the same, or maybe it'll be different. The truth is, America's earliest presidents were all different from one another, weren't all that different from one another. Most were wealthy, white, Protestant men who might have been surprised if they'd been around to see a Catholic or an African-American man elected president, or a woman nominated by a major party for the highest office in the land. But all those things have happened because America is always changing, and it's changing now. When voters choose the next president, they won't look to the past, but to the future and to the ever-hopeful vision of what America could be. So, where is the next president? At least 10 of our future presidents are probably alive today, if we go by the odds. 3 of them are likely serving in government somewhere already. 1 is in college or in the military. 3 probably have other jobs, perhaps practicing law, building things, teaching, running a business. And at least 3 of our future presidents are kids. What are they doing right now? It's probably like you. They might be solving math problems or reading books, writing poetry or code, testing a hypothesis, or learning to dance, making art, or making change. For now, they're busy growing up, growing into the job. Listening, learning, and getting ready to lead. And that's where our next presidents are, somewhere. So that's the end of this book, The Next President. It also, if you want to check it out, it has a lot of more information that I couldn't read because it was too long. So we're going to end now. It's the end of our story time. And I think we'll just end with our goodbye song, If You're Happy and You Know It. Okay? If you're happy and you know it, wave goodbye. Goodbye. If you're happy and you know it, wave goodbye. Goodbye. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, wave goodbye. Goodbye. I'm not going to sing all the other verses because I really went over. That was a long, long book to read. So, once again, goodbye. Hope you have fun at this story time. Maybe you learned a little bit. I did when I was reading about all those past presidents, and I didn't know the facts about the averages about presidents, future presidents being alive, the odds of them being alive when the next president was elected. So, if you want to learn more about presidents or anything else, go to the Santa Cruz Public Library website. That's www.santacruzpl.org. You can find out more information, you can request books, and you can find out about our programs that are coming up. Don't forget to look for our early literacy programs and have fun. Bye-bye.